Senorita, I feel for you. Hey! Welcome to the Poetry Boys podcast with Tola, Makanjola. How are you? Hope you're well. It's been a while. You missed me. I missed you too. Wah. On and on. So this evening, I shut myself out of my own house. I left my keys in. I was taking the trash out, so I was putting the trash in the bags, tying them up, putting them in the bin outside. And as I was putting in the final bit of trash outside, I shut the door, thinking that I had my key in my pocket. And of course, I shut the door, and it was me with a couple of trash bags standing outside in the rain. It was raining. So what do? One part of my brain said, the neighbors have a spare key. And my neighbors are really nice. So I was like, they've got a key. Why don't you ask them to give you the spare key so you can open it? The door, that is. And get in. The other part of my brain went, I have to talk to people. Is the kitchen window open? Because the kitchen window actually faces the front of the house, right? So it's quite big. So I could climb in, potentially. So the window happened to be a little open, a little ajar. So I kind of opened it. So I went through the process of doing this. I didn't really think about it. I just started doing it. Like, nah, I don't want to talk to people. So I opened the window. I opened it up wider. The things on the shelf, I guess, on the front of the sink, and I moved them away. The glass, the flower pots, so I could make way for my grand entrance. So I then put a smaller bin, the food bin, beneath the window so I could climb in. I did all of this just so I didn't have to talk to people. I don't know what that says about me, but what about reality? Or if you want to get philosophical. But I start to climb in, and I go, Tola, for the love of God, just don't be an idiot. Just get down from the bin. You're way too big anyway. You're probably going to pull your hamstring or something. You're going to do something stupid, and you're going to hurt yourself. Go ask the neighbors. So I walked over to the neighbors in the rain and, pressed the doorbell. Oh, how are you? Sorry to bother you. Can I have the key? Oh, yeah, sure. So I get the key, open the door. Oh, you're a lifesaver. Thank you. Have a nice evening. You too. Bye. That was it. I could have literally that was like tops a minute. That sequence of events took a minute. Door, pleasantries, door opening, goodbyes, into the house. 1 minute. It took me about 3 minutes to contemplate whether or not I should speak to my neighbors. It took me about 2 minutes maybe to kind of assess the window and put the bin in and try to climb in. It's a time waster. Being antisocial is a time waster. Being socially avoiding social situations is a time waster. You're wasting time, you're wasting money. If you're business minded, you're wasting money. Just go up to the person and ask them yes or no. Boom, boom, boom. Of course, in this case, it would have been a yes because unless they weren't in. But they were in, and I could have saved minimum 5 minutes. Okay. Speaking of awkward situations, Israel Palestine. Um, Israel Palestine is one of those situations that's so extreme that it could either bring about world peace, like legitimate world peace, and by that I mean the two nations come together and go, "Why are we fighting? We're brothers, literally. Let's make peace." I imagine that's the sort of thing that if it happened in the distant future, that no one else on earth would have an excuse to have beef with anyone. It's like, nah, that would be the archetypical reunion, right? You have a fight, you have a slight complication in your relationship with whoever. You just walk up, you just observe the situation. Or maybe it's not you, you just observe that two siblings are fighting, or a couple are fighting, strangers are fighting. You just walk up to them and go, "Hey, guys, Israel Palestine, remember? If they can do it, you can. Stop fighting, kiss and make up." So that's the extremity of that situation. Means that if there's world peace to be gained from that situation, no one else has an excuse to be in any sort of argument. Therefore, there will be world peace, because everyone will go, "Oh gosh, yeah. If they can do it, then anything is possible." The other extreme is Armageddon, right? I mean, obviously, seems to be where we're headed. It's so extreme that World War III is a possibility, and it's not an exaggeration. It's just what it is. It's like, well, if this person hits this person and this person hits this person, then Lebanon will get involved, then Iran will get upset and get involved, and and then Syria's gonna cry a little bit, and then they'll throw a bomb in Syria, and Syria will then invade or throw a bomb, and Russia will feel left out and ignored, and will then get involved. And because China is BFFs with Russia, they'll get involved, and of course America, obviously, say, "Hey, we're gonna save you all, so we're gonna bomb you all out of." I don't know. But World War III is not an exaggeration, which is that's the nature of this conflict. And yeah, in all seriousness, which is hard for me to be, I hope that wisdom prevails. Divine wisdom. I'd say that's what is required. That's all we have, right? You have all these brilliant people, scientists, philosophers. No one has a solution to this. It's either people are taking sides, or people are just like asking themselves, like, I know all the facts, but I'm still confused. I know what I need to say. I know what I need to do, but I know that that's probably not the full picture. People are just so there's no wisdom manifesting itself. I think the only bit of wisdom that I see that has permeated through this situation is I'm glad that aid is coming to Gaza. So that's relatively humane. That's about it. Everything else is horrific. So I hope that wisdom prevails, and innocent people will stop suffering. I mean, that's what always happens, you know. The guys at the top get hot-headed, and they drag everyone along with them. So, Oh, yeah. So, speaking of wisdom, I'm confused. I'm not confused, but I sometimes feel like people don't fully compliment me, right? Like people. So recently, someone that I respect. I'll say that. I say someone that I respect said, you know what, you've got a great voice. You should use your voice for something. Radio, like you have a great voice. Just use your voice for something. But I'm pretty sure that people find it hard to understand what I say when I speak to them. It's always kind of repeat yourself. Sorry, I can't hear you. Your voice is too deep. You swallow your words. You speak too fast. But people also say I have a nice voice, so I'm so confused. It's like it's like Israel Palestine. It's like just a weird paradox. It's like you got to use your voice for, it's beautiful, it's blah blah blah, but we have no clue what you're saying most of the time. Yeah, all right. It's I was in the U.S. I went to the U.S. That's why I was away for so long. I left you in the cold. Left you in the cold. Left you outside in the cold. I was in the U.S. I visited. Amazing country. I would say amazing, actually. I love the U.S. And I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. First of all, if you're in Britain, you're almost programmed to hate the U.S. At least the population, not the elite. And also, American media, the news, whatever, trains you to hate them as well. So it's like a self-inflicted, uh, you know, reputation disorder, right? So I went to the US. I loved it. People were nice. Showed due courtesy. Very chilled. I didn't sense neuroticism in the air. Weather was beautiful. I was in San Diego, so I would say I like San Diego. America's a continent, so there's a lot I haven't seen. I was there for over 2 weeks, so again, it's like it takes a long time to really, really gauge the soul of a nation. Having said that, you can spend 2 weeks in a country and hate it. That a country that you've never been, and you can absolutely hate it. You can see different sides to it that paints a relatively accurate picture. And I thought this visit did that. People were wonderful. People were wonderful, and I didn't expect that. So I like pleasant surprises. Weather, space, so much space. It's just beautiful. Lovely country. I loved it. America is a lovely country. It's like, am I smoking weed? No. I loved it. It was wonderful. Obviously, there's a dark underbelly as it pertains to its healthcare system. Yeah, that's a fact. You don't want to fall ill in the U.S. unless you're rich. The food, yeah, cook at home. Buy organic ingredients if you can, if you can find them, because the chemicals in the food, that's real. The what else? Yeah, gun culture, that's very real. Here's what happened, right? So we're out running some errands or whatever, and I kind of just got out of the car. You know, my aunt and my cousin were off doing one thing. I thought, oh, let me go check out the sports store opposite the road. So I get out of the car, kind of walk up, open the door, and I see, oh, baseball bats, jerseys, whatever. Cool. I then turn to the left, and I see a wall of guns. All kinds of guns. Cabinets. The wall and the cabinets. Full of guns. All kinds of guns. That was the first... I've never seen guns like that in my life. I've seen officers carry guns or what have you, but I've never seen guns sold like here in the McDonald's. Like, oh, we have, AK-47s, Magnums, whatever. Just all manner of artillery. It was crazy. I was just like, shit. This, if I'd been in the US a little longer, God forbid I would have experienced anything really as pertaining to guns, but again, in just 2 weeks I got a pretty holistic sense of what the nation was like. Capitalism, sell guns. Who gives a shit if the person is gonna go massacre a bunch of kids in school? No one cares. Sell guns. That was what I got in San Diego. Come on. It was actually quite frightening. But I stayed in the store. I just went, oh well, I guess I sell guns, and I kind of walked around and I was looking at headbands, like sweatbands for the head, and wristbands, to wipe sweat off or whatever. Because San Diego is very hot, but it's not humid, which is fantastic. So you kind of sweat, and you feel quite sleepy in the afternoon. I don't know how to get work done, but I guess it's America. You gotta work. But no, amazing country. And the problem with and the tragedy of America is that they don't really know what they have in terms of the power of that diverse nation. The politics is actually crippling what could be an even greater nation. Rail transport links are awful. Again, that's objectively true. Everyone needs a car, or you can't get anywhere really. I don't think I saw a bus. I mean, unless it was like you talk about tall buses and stuff, but you never really saw like a transportation bus. Like just part of the logistical system of the city. So that wasn't good, objectively. But again, for me, people matter. And if I can stand the people, I can probably put up with a lot of stuff. And I like Americans. I was like, that, I never thought I'd say that. But America is a cool place. Despite its flaws and the challenges, it's still relatively young as a nation. It has a lot of potential. It's always evolving. It's disruptive. It has its challenges, but man, if they can get it right, it might actually be the greatest nation on earth. So yeah, that's my take on my trip to the US. And while I was in the US, the Israel-Palestinian crisis started. So, and it's easy to, I get it, right? I get how you can not pay attention. I think I'm blessed to live in the UK. I've been born in Nigeria, because I need to understand what's going on in the rest of the world. We're not at the apex, so to speak, right? So you need to be alert and aware. In America, you can you can shut off the rest of the world, potentially, and it won't matter. You live on a continent, you have your own issues, but that's not wise. and hence why the population is easily manipulated, right? So, because they don't really pay attention, they don't educate themselves. I could see a bit of that. It's easy. It's easy in the U.S. because it's a land of overabundance and security, relatively speaking. So yeah. The sky is blue, apparently. Right. I'm glad to be back. Doing the podcast. I kind of missed it. And when you don't do something, again, it's about consistency. And I think I'm starting to get relatively comfortable recording the podcast. So I got to keep the momentum going. Because when you don't do it for like 2-3 weeks, you start to overthink it a little bit. Natural. But yeah, we keep it going. Keep going strong. Have a good week. Sorry it's a little late. I was meant to record yesterday, but I didn't want to. Just kidding. I was busy. I was busy. So yeah, I thought I'll put it out anyway, so I don't miss another week. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you up again next week. Peace.